I'm gonna do an inside video today. A lot of a lot seem to sort of like the guidance is around like alignment at the moment. Alignment with guides, alignment with the spirit world, alignment with new energies. I keep talking about like anchoring. It's very much around that at the moment. The last couple of days, I feel like there's a lot of us that are walking around within this spiritual journey, and we're sort of like we're not. It's not that we're not conscious, but there's so many guides, there's so many sort of like angels and masters and infinite beings of light that are around us. And a lot of the awakening is about sort of like realizing this. Again, this connects into sort of like the fifth dimensional reality, which is very much around like heaven on earth, which is very much around sort of walking as spirit, expressing light, expressing energy. The last few days, sort of like, or the last couple of weeks, I've had a few sort of like personal things, personal challenges. There's been illness within my family and within my immediate sort of like family circle, and sort of like and work and a few external things where you get caught up in the external reality of sort of like the daily living and sort of like the pressures of money, things like that. And I know like the guides have been very sort of like very clear lately, with me sort of like making me aware that you're not walking alone. You have like an infinite sort of like family of light around you. You have an infinite sort of like um, beings of light around you, uh, and very much sort of like trying to give me the impression that you know when you suffer and you feel sort of like detached, and your energy sort of frequency and vibration is low. Sometimes it's because consciously, you're not sort of like opening up. You're not opening up at this time, and you're not aware, and you haven't got the awareness that that these beings are walking with you. And I've very much sort of like the impressions I've had over the last couple of days have been about alignment, about anchoring. And it's been about sort of like knowing, and that you're not walking through this life, this reality alone. You've got like I said, I keep talking about this notion, this sort of like source energy, which is like your energy, your vibration that is creative, but it's also sort of like aligning you, to the fact that you're not walking through this. There's information, there's insight, there's guidance around you. There's guides working with you, and they're walking with you. You're not walking through this, and again, this is that kind of illusion of separateness. When you get caught up in the external world and the external reality, you get caught up in like a singular consciousness where you become separate. Um, and this is not the case. The guides, the masters, and the angels are very much sort of like impressioning on me at the moment that you're not walking alone. You need to be walking as this being of light and expressing it, but also realizing that you are being aligned. You are sort of like these beings are around you, and their frequencies are around you, their vibrations are around you, and all you need to do is just open up, and you receive it, and you'll receive this insight, this awareness, these messages. It's so important at this time, alignment, and aligning with one, your source energy, but aligning with the spiritual energies that are around you, the spiritual beings that are around you, and they are very much around you. They are very much walking with you. There is no separation. There is no, this notion of walking, and expressing light and being this light, but like walking alone is a very sort of like limited view and a limited view of reality. But it's not true reality, because true reality is these beings are walking with you. So this sort of like this time is very much, like I say, about alignment, but it's also very much around opening, and um, creating that space again to receive, and know that you are supported, you are secure, that you are being directed. This is the infinite, sort of like when you talk about source and source energy and unconditional. This is what these guides and these beings have, agreed to be around us, and work with us. They do not leave you alone. They're not sort of like, they will not leave you alone in your time of need. This is, they are in service. They're in service, and working with you to bring you, um, and awaken you again to your soul wisdom, your soul knowledge, and your purpose of being here, which is to awaken. All of our purposes of being here is to awaken, and it's to express that light, and walk in that light. As again, those sayings like "I am the light, I'm the light, I am the way, I'm the truth." I think like Master Jesus said that. I am the light, I am the way, I'm the truth. This is sort of a teaching, or an expression of letting you know that the I am presence, and the I am sort of mantra is like, I am the light, so you are a light expression, you are a light being. I am the way. It's saying to you that you have the energy, you have the information, you have the wisdom and the understanding to express it. And again, truth is like true reality. That this reality, this external reality, is not the true expression of our being, and our wholeness of what we are. And this is what a lot of this sort of awakening is about. It's the understanding, and again, it connects to sort of like the ascended masters. Like I keep saying about Saint Germain, and I talk about this transformation and this transmutation. It's such an important teaching. It's such an important sort of understanding that your will, your consciousness, your energy, your light, your vibration, can be used in any way to shift and change reality. Reality is not it's not a fixed thing, and this is one of the biggest sort of like things, or the shift and change in consciousness now. Reality is not a fixed thing. It's a fluid thing that can be sort of changed and shifted, through sort of like consciousness and understanding and awareness. Um, Again, this connects to the universal law of inspired action. Inspired action is the next step. We're living in a physical sort of like human form, and although the reality, at the external reality, like the 3D blueprint, is like a physical sort of world. In that sense, the universal law of inspired action is very important, because it's the next step. So it's like having consciousness and awareness. Um, is sort of like the having consciousness and awareness of your source energy, is having access to your soul wisdom, your soul understanding, and your soul energy, and your spiritual energy and your spiritual light. But it's also the inspired action is the next step, where you consciously start to shift and change your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, to then start to align, you know, your inner reality with your external reality. Again, it's the universal law of correspondence, which is really, really important. Um, these are very practical and physical steps, because it's important. It's like anything in the universe. It's the inspired action is receiving the insight, receiving the awareness, and then acting upon it. That's the next step, is acting upon it. And we're doing that. And again, this is about integration. This is about alignment. Again, this is about awakening. It's about all those things at once. Because what you're starting to do then is you're starting to live and express your spiritual truth, which is what this time's about. This is what this time's about. It's about expressing your spiritual truth. And these are why these universal laws align, and are being given at the moment, because this is about sort of expressing your spiritual truth. And each and every one of us within our souls, and when we start to express it, we're expressing our spiritual truth. And this is what we're here for. We're here to express our spiritual truth. And when we do that, then we align with our infinite source energy, and our infinite sort of like awareness, and we start to apply our consciousness in a very wise, like using our wisdom in a way that sort of aligns our life, and it aligns our purpose, and then it also expresses our truth. And this is what this time's about, and I feel this is what the masters and the angels really want to say. And that's the main teaching of today, is expressing your spiritual truth. And you can only do that when you're aligned to your source energy, and you're expressing your soul, and your soul energy and your soul wisdom. And this is what we're here for. And then in many cultures, this is what this time's about. We talk about Atlantis, we talk about Lemuria, but we can also talk about like Native Americans that are, expressing sort of like truths, through the way that they integrate them, and the way that they live their lives. And this is what this time's about. It's about coming back to our source energy and our source understanding, so then we can express our spiritual truth. And that is the main sort of like message of today, is expressing your truth. And you know your spiritual truth through what resonates with you, what sort of truly sort of like creates joy, creates happiness, creates a reality that is aligned in harmony and balance and peace. Anything that's not aligned in that is not your spiritual truth. It's like a expression of your intellectual mind, or your your you know when you're expressing your spiritual truth, because there's a sense of joy, happiness, but there's also sort of like a sense of being connected, of being secure, um, and it's also about sort of like when you're expressing it, everything is flowing. The universe flows. Universe aligns and flows, and again, expressing your spiritual truth will bring you back to alignment. And again, this connects to transmutation and transformation, because you'll start to align to ascension, which is again, you'll become back to that sort of alignment with spirit, your spiritual guides, your spiritual helpers, your spiritual sort of teachers and masters and angels. Because when you're expressing your truth, then you're open to receive, because you're expressing who you are and what you are in that moment, and you're in that power of presence, you're in the power of creation in that moment. And this is what this time's about, and this is what we're bringing back for, and this is why alignment's so important, and this is why anchoring's so important, because anchoring and alignment go hand in hand. Like anchoring is opening up your channel and bringing down those new energies, and that sort of like in connecting with the many beings that are around you that are directing and helping you. And when you're anchoring that energy, then you're becoming a source of that energy, that light, but you're also becoming a source and opening up to your spiritual truth and your spiritual wisdom. But you're anchoring that new source energy into your own energy field and energy frequency, but you're also anchoring it for the planet and for the greater good of all. And this is the unconditional again. This is the unconditional of source energy and source light, and this is where it's very different, because it's on a collective level. It's not on a singular consciousness, and this is really, really important as we start to express and move through. So stay true to yourself, and you'll know this, because you'll know what things when you experience them and you experience events and things, that if things don't sit right, or don't sit and don't resonate, then it's not an aspect of, it's not an expression of your truth. Be true to yourself, be true to your nature, be true to your energy, and create and express in a way that connects and unifies with others, and aligns with others, and is in harmony with others. This is what this time's about. It's about bringing back again. It's about bringing back that unity, that alignment, that harmony, and it's about this time again awakening as we walk as spirit, we walk as beings of light, and we express our truth, our spiritual truth. And when we do that, we bring our own soul knowledge, soul wisdom, soul understanding back to the planet. And as many of us, as we start to awaken, and we start to express our spiritual truth, then we become beacons. And when how I'm speaking about beacons is, again, this connects back to like when I talk about Lord Lanta, when I talk about illumination, it's very much around that. A beacon or like illumination very much connects into that. Illumination connects into that spiritual truth and that wisdom that each and every one of us houses when we come down in these physical forms. We bring that light, that energy, and we become a beacon. We become a beacon because what we start to do is vibrate and express light, and then others align with that. Others resonate with that, and that helps to awaken them, helps to awaken their own sort of light and energy and wisdom and their own spiritual truth. And we're here for each and every one of us. We're here, each and every one of us are part of the ascension process, as they are in the spirit world, and the infinite beings of light are around us. They have made a sort of like they've made like they are here to help us awaken and express our truth and our light and our energy. We're here to do that for each other. We're an infinite community, a spiritual community of light and energy, and this is why we've all come back. And this is what the purpose again of the light workers expression is. The light worker brings light and energy, one to heal individually as you come down, and express your light and start to awaken to your own spiritual wisdom and truth, and express your spiritual truth. But we also hold light frequencies, and the more that we open up to these light frequencies as a channel of light, the more we align with the planet. We help to um, anchor in more light energy into the planet, so the planet can start to evolve and shift and change reality, and shift and change as a spiritual in spiritual light and energy. And the planet will start to heal, open, and it will become, and as we become individual channels for source energy and light and anchor it in, so does the planet. So it all works on the all. Although it sort of like starts with us as individually, we then start to anchor it and bring it into our lives, and then we start to express it in a collective way. And the way we start to do that, we start to connect to the planet, and then the planet starts to evolve and shift. But the planet starts to anchor in a new vibration, a new frequency, a new reality. As we are, we're working in perfect unity, perfect harmony with the planet at the moment, doing this. And this is what this time's about, and this is what we're anchoring in, and this is why anchoring, alignment, integration is so important, and expressing our truth and our wisdom, because we're all keys. We all act as keys to unlock the frequencies, the vibrations here on the planet. Each and every one of us are keys. Each and every one of us are part of that expression, and we're all here to do the same thing. This is all of our mission. It's not like not one person on this planet is walking around with their own mission for the planet, and that is separate from anybody else. We're all on the same mission. We're all here for the same reason, and we're all part of the same whole. And we're all interconnected. We're all aligned, and we're all here for that reason. We need to stop seeing ourselves as separate and see ourselves as one light, one vibration, one frequency. And again, this is the law of oneness, and this is the teachings, the deep rooted sort of like ancient teachings that bring wisdom and light and understanding. And the many spiritual cultures for the many different sort of eons have known this, and and this is what the ascended masters brought down as well, and bring down to us. You look at the many of the sort of like the cultures that have walked the planet. The Mayans, like I said, the Native Americans, the Egyptians, all of them. These kind of cultures all knew this. They all had an understanding of it, and it's for us to start to bring it again and express it and align it and integrate it once again, so the planet can become this vibrant place of harmony, balance, peace, love. But it's also connected again, and it's a vibrant place of energy. But it also opens up those infinite channels that allow us and align us again with the spirit world and the spiritual beings, the infinite light beings that work with us. And our time is again to consciously shift, so we start to have the awareness that they walk with us, but they're also connected to us. And then we open up those channels again, so that we can start to be aligned and connect with them. And like in Atlantis times, they had like crystal chambers where they would have these beautiful crystal chambers of vibration and frequencies, and that the priests and the priestesses of Atlantis would go into them, but they would also shift. Their consciousness would expand, and then they would travel, and they would go to different dimensions and realities, and they would speak and gain knowledge and wisdom from these infinite beings and these infinite sources of light and energy. And then they would bring it back to the planet, and then they would give and express it in that way, and they would teach it back to the masses, all the spiritual beings, the beings that were on the planet, or in Atlantis and Lemuria. And then we would then integrate it, and we'd once again be connected to that infinite source of light, but those infinite sort of like sources of wisdom and understanding. And each and every one of us are here to come back to that time where we're in harmony, and we're once again not disconnected. The planet's been disconnected for so long on these lower frequencies, that it's time to bring back these higher frequencies. And this is the insight for today.